Alright, so in this video I wanted to discuss short sales real quickly. So for those who don't know, a short sale is when the bank agrees to sell a property for less than what is owed on it. So for example, if I own a house that's if I own a house that has a mortgage of $500,000 on it from Chase Bank, for example, I can no longer afford to make the payments. A buyer comes to me and says, listen, I'll give you $450 for the house, or $400. We write up a contract. You have to attach the short sale addendum to that contract, which means that all of the stuff that you guys are negotiating are subject to bank approval. I would then have to reach out to my bank and be like, hey, listen, instead of going through the foreclosure process, it's going to cost you a lot of money. I have an offer right now for X amount of dollars. Would you guys consider it? And then they will get back to you, and it's either going to be an approve or a decline type of deal. They're either going to accept it or they're not. And the one thing I could tell you about short sale transactions are they do take a very long time. Anytime you need a response on something, it does have to go through the bank's approval. You can't just have the seller approve it. So for example, if I own the house that's going to be sold as a short sale, I could agree to something with the buyer, but it's going to be subject to the bank's approval. Just something to keep in mind. We're buying 2 short sale properties right now, and we were going to do a 2-week close. The bank approved it, and once it got in the title with the holidays and everything, the bank became a little slow, so we had to request a closing extension, which is fine with me. But in some transactions, time is of the essence, so you do have to put some pressure on the lender to make sure that everything is getting done in a timely manner. You don't want to stretch things out, because if you're not on top of the bank, if you're not on top of the bank, things will not get done. And some things that you're going to need when doing a short sale transaction. A lot of the lenders ask for a preliminary HUD statement. So get with your favorite title agent or attorney, have them prepare that preliminary HUD statement. If you're really close with them, they'll sometimes do it for free. If not, they'll charge you a small fee. What I do is I give my business to a couple of local title companies locally, and I'm super close with the title rep, so they'll do me the favor, and in return, I'll give them the title repeat business. So you're going to want to get that purchase and sale agreement executed, and once the bank approves it, you're going to go into the escrow process just like you would in any other regular transaction. And it's super important to keep everybody in the loop. I like to have a thread with me, the seller, the bank, and the title agent. This way, when an update is given, all of the parties are aware and we're compliant, and we're ensuring that we're getting this done as quickly as possible. And like I mentioned in another video, this particular build is an unfinished build where the builder went bankrupt and they need to liquidate all of their assets, and the bank was going to call a foreclosure because they haven't been paying their note. And there were subcontractors working on this job site, and for those of you who are familiar with the construction lien law, you always want to make sure that all of the subs have been paid, or they didn't file the correct notices. So if they didn't get paid, they can't legally file a lien on the property, because you don't want to buy a property and then all of a sudden you owe subcontractors money. So that's more going to be if the property is being worked on or was being worked on in a close window to when you were purchasing the property. So if you guys come into that scenario, feel free to reach out to me. I could let you know if you guys are in the clear or if you should do some deeper research. But most of the time, the title company is going to be taking care of most of that. But it doesn't hurt to always do a once-over just to ensure that you guys are in the okay for that. Now, the next thing I would do with short sales is do not be afraid to give a lowball offer. Now, depending on how open the seller is with you, they're going to tell you if they owe money on the... they're going to tell you what the payoff is on the loan. If not, just throw an offer at them. And even if they do tell you what the payout is, don't be afraid to offer lower. Because at the end of the day, the banks are not in the business of holding property. They're in the business of financing property and getting paid. So one huge thing to keep in mind about that.